That's my favorite.
Leonardo! I find in this letter here that Don Pedro comes this night to New York.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 leagues hence when I saw him last.
I read here that Don Pedro has bestowed much honor on a young gentleman called Claudio.
He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion.
I pray you, has Senor Montanto returned from the war or no?
I know none of that name, lady. My cousin means Senor Benedict of Westchester.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Senor Benedict too much.
He hath done good service in these wars, lady.
And a good soldier too, lady. And a good soldier too, a lady. But what is he to a lord?
I'm lord to a lord, man to a man, step to honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but as for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt her and Senor Benedict, and they never meet, but there's a skirmish of wits between them.
I pray you, who is his new companion? For every month he hath a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
It's very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and if he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his new companion?
He is most often in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught by the pestilence than the tigger runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he have caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere to be cured.
I'll keep friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
And you will not run mad, niece?
No, not till the hot January.
Don Pedro's approaching.
Good Senor Leonardo.
Don Pedro!
Why you come to meet your troubles? The fashion of the world is to avoid loss, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace.
My lord, I believe this is your daughter.
Her mother has often told me it is so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Benedict! No, for then you were but a child.
Oh, you haven't fooled Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man.
If Leonardo be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all of New York, as like him as she is.
I am surprised you are still talking, Senor Benedict. Nobody mocks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is't possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food as Senor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Why then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted, and I would I could find it in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
And a dear happiness to women. They would else be troubled by a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I would rather hear a dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Well, heaven keep your ladyship still in that mind. So some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratch face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were. Oh.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
Would my horse had the speed of your tongue. But keep your way in God's name, I've done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
And that is the sum of all, Leonardo. Senor Benedict, Senor Claudio, My dear friend Leonardo hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay at the least a month, and he hardly prays some occasion may detain us longer.
My dear lady, let me bid you welcome. Being reconciled to the Don Pedro, your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Well, Don Pedro, when you will, away.
Your hand, Leonardo, will go together.
Benedict! Didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I, noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why then, in faith, methinks she's, too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I offer her. Were she other than that she were unhandsome, and being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I'm in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it in.
In mine eye, she's the sweetest lady I've ever looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, Beatrice, and were she not possessed of a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May does the last of December. But I hope you've no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself. Though, I'd sworn the contrary if Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this. Shall I never see a bachelor of 60 again? We'll go to in faith. Thou must needs thrust thy neck into a yoke and wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. But hark! Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
What secret hath helped you here that you follow not to Leonardo?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
Why then mark you this, on my allegiance. He is in love. With whom now that is your grace's God? With Hero, Leonardo's daughter.
Well, amen if you love her, for the woman is very well with you.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thoughts.
In faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
By my 2 faiths and troths, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she's worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know where she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake!
Oh, thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me? I thank her! That she brought me up, I likewise give her my most humble thanks! But that I will hang my bugle on an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor!
I will see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, or with sickness, or with hunger, not with love.
Well, as time shall try, the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull, eh? But if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead. Let me be vilely painted in such great letters as they write. Here is good horse for hire. Let them signify under my sign. Here may you see Benedict, the married man.
Benedict, repair to Leonardo's. Tell him I shall not fail him for supper, for indeed he hath made great preparations.
Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience. So I leave you.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No, no child but Hera. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war's thoughts have left their places vacant, and in their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to the war.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and her father, and the conclusion is, thou shalt have her. I know we shall have reveling tonight. Oh, I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero, I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force, and strong encounter of this amorous tale. And then after with her father I will break, and the conclusion is, thou shalt have her. In practice, let us put it presently.